Brazil to name squad as authorities try to avoid more quarantine chaos. Brazil will announce a squad today for their next 3 World Cup qualifiers as football's authorities try to strike a deal with governments to avoid a repeat of last month's shambles. Premier League clubs discussed the matter at the shareholders' meeting on Thursday and are, in general, open to letting the players travel to South America, where all countries remain on the red list, as long as they are exempt from the 10-day quarantine on their return. Talks are ongoing with FIFA and the government in the hope of establishing safe football bubbles for all players facing international duty in red list nations and once they return to the UK. Brazil boss Tite, who was without 9 players not released by their 6 English clubs last month, intends to select a large squad including several players from the Premier League. Liverpool's Roberto Firmino and Everton's Richarlison are injury doubts, and new Tottenham right-back Emerson Royal is in contention for a recall. The Brazilian FA, CBF, have lodged a request with their government and health authorities for any players travelling from the UK to be made exempt from the quarantine rules which forced this month's World Cup qualifier against Argentina to be abandoned amid farcical scenes in Sao Paulo. Public health agents and police brought the game to a halt after only 5 minutes, demanding Argentina's Giovanni Lo Celso and Christian Romero of Spurs and Emi Martinez and Emi Buendia of Aston Villa went immediately into quarantine. Argentina walked off the pitch and did not return. Lo Celso, Romero, Martinez, and Buendia then spent 10 days in Croatia to avoid the strict hotel quarantine for those entering the UK from countries on the red list, as did Tottenham's Davinson Sanchez, who played 2 games for Colombia. Brazil lodged official complaints with FIFA about their unreleased players, as did Paraguay, Mexico, and Chile. But, after a series of talks, these 4 countries dropped demands for the 5-day ruling to be imposed, which would have left Premier League clubs open to official sanctions had those players appeared in any game during the next 5 days. The concession has created an atmosphere of goodwill, and clubs are trying to find a solution to help the South Americans ahead of next month's qualifiers. Brazil are in Colombia on October 7, in Venezuela 3 days later, and at home in Manaus against Uruguay on October 14, 2 days before Premier League fixtures resume. The key lies with the UK government, however, and FIFA's ability to convince them to waive quarantine, because there will be secure protocols in place to protect the football bubbles in